"It's very dark in there," he whispered, his voice a low murmur that seemed to carry an edge of warning. Even through the phone, his tone was unsettling, cold. 9:32 a.m., my phone buzzed with a call from an unknown number. I picked it up, unsure if it would be worth my time. "Good morning, sir," a woman's voice greeted me. "We're calling from your word stage play. We'd like to confirm if you're on your way." I blinked, caught off guard. I'd been invited a few weeks back by a friend who thought I'd appreciate the play's message. But I had so much planned for the day that I'd only half-heartedly promised to attend. "I thought it started at 11. I asked. "The red carpet starts at 10 a.m., sir. It's already underway." A quick glance at the clock told me I'd have to hurry if I wanted to make it on time. With a deep sigh, I decided to go. I cleared my schedule and got into my car, hoping for a quick drive to the venue. But traffic, of course, had other plans. A major road closure turned the 20-minute drive into nearly an hour. By the time I reached the hall, it was 11:30 a.m. As I walked up to the registration desk, scanning the crowd for my friend, someone asked, "Did you register online?" Before I could respond, my friend's voice called from across the room. He's one of the invited pastors. I managed a quick wave, hoping to slip into my seat quickly. Then, out of nowhere, a young man appeared beside me. His face was expressionless, his eyes almost unnaturally calm. "Sir, it's very dark inside," he said, his voice unsettlingly quiet. "You'll need to hold my hand to reach your seat." I hesitated. Something about his presence felt off. But I dismissed it as nerves and nodded. "All right," I replied. His hand was cold and dry as he grasped mine and led me forward into the hall. The moment we stepped inside, it was like we were swallowed by darkness. The air was thick, almost suffocating, with only a single spotlight on the distant stage. I couldn't see anything beyond that one beam of light. My heart quickened. It was as though the darkness was alive, pressing in on me, making my skin crawl. The young man led me carefully to my seat, one step at a time. I could only rely on his grip as we moved forward, each step feeling like a leap into a void. Finally, we reached the front row, and he released my hand. But as I sat down, a chill lingered where his fingers had gripped mine. The play began with a single actress on stage, speaking powerfully about the importance of recognizing when a relationship becomes abusive. I could sense the audience around me reacting, but the darkness made everything feel distant, surreal. I felt unnervingly isolated, like the darkness had created a barrier between me and everyone else. As the play continued, my mind drifted, haunted by the strange feeling of being watched. My eyes scanned the room, but all I could see was blackness stretching endlessly around me. And then I heard it. A low, whispering voice, so faint I almost missed it. "It's dark here, but you're not alone," the voice said, barely louder than a breath. I turned looking around, but no one was there. A prickle of fear ran down my spine, but I tried to shake it off. It must have been someone behind me whispering, I reasoned, forcing myself to focus on the stage. But the sense of isolation, of being trapped, only grew stronger. The whispers returned, closer this time, mingling with my thoughts. "Trust is hard in the dark," they murmured. "But you're not alone." As the first act ended, I closed my eyes, trying to center myself. I felt a tug on my heart, as though God was nudging me to pay attention. I took a deep breath, trying to let go of the fear that had crept in. If I could lean into faith rather than fear, maybe I could find some peace. The play resumed, and I found myself drawn in despite the eerie darkness. The actress spoke of moments when we are so blind in relationships that we don't see the warning signs. Her words hit home. Sometimes, I realized, we ignore the signs God gives us, choosing to walk in darkness without guidance. In that instant, a thought struck me. I may be in the dark, but God's still here. It felt like a soft whisper in my spirit, reminding me of all the times I'd faced tough decisions, uncertain futures, and walked through valleys that felt endless. "You have to let go," the young man's voice echoed in my memory. I thought about how he had led me, his cold hand guiding me step by step. Just like faith, I realized, this journey in the darkness was one step at a time, moving forward without seeing where each step would land. The second act began, and the atmosphere seemed to shift, intensifying the message. The actress spoke of trusting oneself and ultimately something greater. She told a powerful story about a woman who stayed in the shadows of a toxic relationship for years, too afraid to trust in the light outside. The performance felt raw and real, like a mirror held up to the soul. As I listened, something softened in me. I was reminded that life's darkest moments, the times when we feel completely abandoned, are often when God is closest. But it's up to us to reach out, to take that hand extended in the shadows. Another whisper brushed against my ear, chilling me. Even in the darkest places, God walks with you. The play ended, and the crowd erupted in applause. But I was still caught in a haze, the weight of the message sinking in. I stood up slowly, waiting for my friend, but they were nowhere to be found. The young man who'd led me inside reappeared beside me. "It's time to leave, sir," he said, his voice as calm and distant as ever. "But you'll need to trust me one last time." With some hesitation, I took his hand again. His grip was colder than before, almost icy. But this time, I felt something different, a sense of peace. As he led me through the darkness, I thought back on the lesson I'd learned in that hall. In life, we walk through many shadows, often unable to see what lies ahead. But even in those darkest moments, faith acts as our guide, if we're willing to hold on. When we reached the door, he released my hand. "Thank you," I said, turning to look at him one last time. But he was already gone, vanished into the shadows. In the weeks that followed, I found myself changed. Every time I felt lost or overwhelmed, I remembered the young man's words. "It's very dark in there." But now I understood what he meant. The darkness we face is only temporary. If we trust, we'll always find our way through. The experience left me with a deep sense of peace, a renewed trust in God's guidance. Life might be full of unknowns, filled with challenges we can't foresee, but one thing remains constant: God's hand, ready to lead us if we're willing to reach out. And sometimes, in those silent, pitch-black moments, I feel it again, a soft whisper, reminding me I'm never alone, even in the deepest darkness.